like to welcome you to the February 25th, 2021 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here. Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements of the board?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. Approval of minutes of the meeting of January 28th, 2021.
I'm going to make a motion to defer the approval of those minutes.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence. Item A, correspondence received from Ms. Rubia Magdalenas requesting a two-way stop sign at 174th Street and Harrison Avenue. City engineer? No. This is where these generally go, right?
Yeah.
Engineering? Okay.
Okay. I'll make a motion to refer this request to engineering for their review and recommendation.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item B, correspondence and petition received from Ms. Crystal Gascon requesting residential parking only on the 800 block of 173rd Place. We have a petition here. Is this something that needs to go to? Is she here? No.
I think engineering.
Engineering. Okay.
Okay.
And like PD should be aware of it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to refer this to engineering for their review and recommendation, and also notify the police department.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, correspondence received from Ms. Tallulah Coy, Kidsville Daycare Centers LLC, 6745 Calumet Avenue, requesting placement of a one-way sign in the alley behind her business. Once again.
I think that's us. 6745.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, good timing.
All right, good morning. My name's Daniel Coy. This is my wife, Tallulah Coy. She's the owner of the daycare center. Since we opened, we had a little parking issues with the neighbors to our north, Refresh Facility. They deliver beverages and food, so it's like a little warehouse there. And their trucks, we have some photos that we brought with us today that I'd like to show you guys. The trucks, they enter from the north, and they go past 6749, which is where their loading dock is, and they stop right in front of our daycare. And these, sometimes they're box trucks, but oftentimes they're semi-tractor trailers, 53 feet long, and it blocks the entire access into our parking lot. We've communicated with them extensively. We've tried not to get the police involved. We try to work it out with them. Unfortunately, with this recent snowstorm, a lot of our parents had to park around the block and walk their small children through the alley, through the snow, falling. We have photos of a child that fell. And the other day, a couple days ago, when we had to call the police, we talked to them before. And the young staff, the employee there told us, there's nothing we could do about it. We're not breaking the law. I can't possibly tell all my truck drivers to enter from the north. So however they come, that's how they're gonna come. We're not breaking the law. And so when Sergeant Howard responded, I explained the problem to him, and he kind of told us the same thing. He said it would be neighborly if they would enter from the south, so they could pull all the way past our location and park the rear of the trucks right where the loading dock is. But he said, truth is, they're not breaking any laws. So my wife has gone out there over the last 4 months, has talked to even truck drivers. Some are nice, some will move. Others have resorted to.
Is this a sign that is in the alley there?
No, that is a sign that we would like to be put
okay.
Perhaps somewhere in the alley. Basically, it's either, we're requesting maybe a one-way sign for that alley. It would be from Cherry Street to, I think, Mulberry. And if that's not possible, because I know that may inconvenience some of the homeowners there, at least a no truck entrance sign from Mulberry. So that would, hopefully these truck drivers will get in the habit of knowing that we have to enter from Cherry Street. And this way they would pull all the way past our property and kind of unload right where their dock is and not block us.
Okay, Jeff, anything you want?
Yeah, but, yeah, if they pull up to the dock, they're not blocking an alley then or access to your building?
If they come from the north, or if they come from the south, from the I-80 area, if they
Right.
come from that way, they're not blocking because they're forced to pull all the way past our building. It's when they enter from the north and they come back.
That's when they block the park.
Yeah, because they have to stop right in front of ours, so
Gotcha.
the rear of their truck is right in front of their dock. So you can see in the photos, when they're facing to the south, they're blocking our whole, so we have employees as well. The employees can't get into the building. They can't park in there, so they park around, they walk. But our main concern is really for, the kids, and we've had parents engage these truck drivers, and it's just getting to the point where we probably need some signs to prevent any further escalation of.
So how do you folks, I know you tell parents where the drop-off point is. I'm guessing it's a pull-in, drop-off, and they pull right out through the alley, correct?
Right. We actually sent a letter to our parents.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to see this.
I've got it.
So we've encouraged our parents to also enter from the north, or from the south, I'm sorry.
Oh, so they come in, they enter in the alley, and then
Yep.
they come out and they pull off on Calumet Avenue once the child's dropped off, or no?
They enter in the alley, they
Yeah.
pull right back out the same way, but it would, if there's
So
a
it's-
truck there.
It's an
always
alley
first-
drop-off?
It's an alley drop-off, because we're on Calumet.
I got you.
And that's the same reason why the warehouse company also has, because they don't want to block, they can't block Calumet Avenue for unloads all hours of the day.
So you have cars lined up one after another dropping kids off, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Schools?
Yes,
Okay, so that eliminates Calumet Avenue for you.
yes, sir.
I see.
Well, I'm more inclined to think about the no truck entrance there as opposed to a one-way.
One of the issues, this kind of brings up kind of what we were talking about with the parking signs and stuff, right? There's I don't want to call it a disagreement, but there is a difference of opinion as to whether or not the Board of Public Works or the council should be dealing with like one-way. One-way alleys are designated in the municipal code. There's like 4 of them, but I have a feeling there's a lot more. And so this kind of goes with the whole point that the law department's trying to clean up and try to make sure that, number one, we don't burden the council with, I don't know if necessarily, I guess we'll find out when we bring this before the council, but I'm not sure if they want to be burdened with deciding whether an alley should be one way or not, and that may be better to be done here at the Board of Works. Similar to no parking signs, right? Stop signs, for example. So we're going to work on that. I guess one of the issues is, and maybe Mr. Long, or I'm sorry, Chief Long could address this. Is there any ordinance that you know of that allows for standing and stopping in alleys, or prohibit standing and stopping?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah.
That's why I think, Kevin, I was just telling Kevin that I think we should have something about a truck entering that way as opposed to a one-way, because like he said, the one-way alley is going to make some of the neighbors unhappy. I'm sure he doesn't want that. If we can put a sign up that maybe says trucks have to enter from the other way. Deliveries, yeah.
Yeah.
Must enter, north or whatever, however we word it. I think that's gonna work better than a one-way alley.
Yeah, deliveries must enter from the south.
Exactly.
Yep, that's probably the better solution, because I'm sure Mr. Perez knows, his trucks want to go down, they probably go down the alleys both ways, right, in that area for garbage pickup and things like that. I'm sure they go both, so.
That's why, that would be our last resort, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Hold on, Mr. Button.
Okay.
Another thought that came to mind is perhaps we designate the portion of the alley that's in question no parking, right? So we designated that area that you can't stand or park in the segment where the drop-off is occurring.
It works too?
Yeah.
But then they would have to park in that dock then, right? That would just, it would be not where they enter, they would just have to park in one spot.
They would have to be in the stall.
Exactly, right.
Right? So they wouldn't block that area.
Is the issue the, like, delivery, or is the issue when there's multiple trucks waiting to deliver?
One, the delivery.
Just one?
Even one truck.
Even one truck.
And you can tell by the
good.
pictures when they come one way, it's not good. Blocks everything.
And they don't have space there to pull onto their own property, so they will be blocking the alley, but yeah, I think even signs that says don't block, or no stopping, standing from where our lot entrance begins to where it ends, it's only about, I'd say 50, 60 feet.
If the
So-
semi is backed into the dock, is the alley open?
No, they can't, they don't even back into
So
the
they
dock.
can't, the dock space is not big enough to take a
No.
semi-trailer?
They can't turn and get backed in at all. So they stop right where you see, right there in the
Okay.
alley.
So the no parking probably wouldn't work then. They have to park there.
Right.
So I don't know, I think maybe two signs, the one saying must enter from this location for deliveries, and then also a couple signs that would block where our, you know, like, just like you have a private driveway at home, no parking within 10 feet of the sign, or no stopping, standing 10 feet within the sign, something like that.
Yeah, no parking, standing, stopping in that zone. Like, you know, like we do, we paint curb lines yellow. That designates an area where you're not supposed to be. We would do something similar to that. Just post a no parking, stopping, or standing between the signs.
Okay.
I mean, the other way to look at it, I guess theoretically, could be to establish a loading and unloading zone.
Right.
That's allowed.
Right.
And, you know, you make that the beginning of the loading zone, the end of the loading zone, and otherwise it's prohibited. I mean, it's probably better to put where it's not allowed than where it is, now that I think about it, because it's better to have a prohibition probably in an area than it is to,
Absolutely.
okay, yep.
So what is the ratio of semi-trucks to like box trucks, straight trucks?
I'd say 75% are
Semi?
are semi,
So
Yes.
then the semi is the problem.
yes.
So we'd have to have the street department mark off that area and then prohibit parking in that area.
Dean, is this something you want to take a look at? Okay, I mean, I'm going to look at it just so I understand
Me too.
what they're describing to us. It's not going to be something that's probably rectified in a week.
No problem.
A couple of weeks or so.
We'll get on
but
it, though,
we'll-
yeah.
No
we'll-
problem.
We'll take a look at it and see what we can come up with to help you folks out.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And as far as follow-up, do we,
Well,
an email?
There'll be contact, yeah, the engineers, somebody, they'll contact you, we will, somebody will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to refer this to engineering for their review and recommendation.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item D, correspondence received from Chief of Police William Short requesting the approval of Officer Tracy Batustak to be transferred from the Wellness Unit / Administration to the Patrol / Uniform Division effective February 21, 2021, relinquishing her Master Sergeant specialty pay and return to the rank of Sergeant, requesting the approval of Corporal Benjamin Stombaugh to be transferred from Uniform / Patrol Division to the Wellness Unit / Administration effective February 21st, 2021. Due to this transfer, Corporal Stombaugh will relinquish his evidence technician specialty pay.
Make a motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 6, matters from board members. We have something here from Trocor LLC, effective January 1, 2021. They have provided IT services to the city of Hammond, and Mr. Smith, you want to speak to this?
Sure, this is a request by the IT department. Basically, Trocor has provided services since at least 2012, I believe. I received a copy of an older contract that was dated 2012, and they've gone from an kind of a sole proprietorship type entity to a LLC, as you can see. I think Chief Margraf, it says something like Trocor or something LLC on it now, on the top, the name of the company now.
Yeah, just Trocor-LLC.
Okay, yeah, so now they're a limited liability company. They've changed their, not changed, but they've added some standard terms. I think the price went up a little bit. It is requested by the IT department, specifically its department chair, Mr. Campbell, that this be approved. The services have continued. We began getting new invoices, so we just need to approve this. And if Lynn can stamp and approved on it, and then get that down to IT once the board acts on it. I would appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Campbell's request.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else from you, Johnny? No?
No, sir.
Okay. Matters from other department heads and or the representatives. Mr. Button.
Just a point of notification. As you're aware, last week we opened bids for the community crossings projects on Sibley and on 169th. Thank you. Gosh. And we have a recommendation, but we want to go through the Capital Improvements Board to appropriate the money before it comes back. So you should see that recommendation next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else, department head? Nope. Okay, moving on to new business. Item A, hearing, business license, Hot and Dial Southern Cuisine Restaurant.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Right. I'm coming because I'm a new business there. I've been there since November, and I didn't know that the expiration date, what it was, so I can renew. I didn't get any notification to renew, so I was trying to pay my license fee last week, and they told me that I was fined. So I'm trying to see if they can alleviate or waive that fine, because, again, I just started in November and I really didn't know that it came up that quick.
What's your name again, sir?
My name is Frederick Ward,
Ward, can I ask you a couple of questions? Where's your business located?
6217B Kennedy Avenue, Hammond.
Okay, and what kind of business is it?
It's a soul food restaurant.
All right, and you've been open since November?
Yes, sir.
I assume you have all the health department,
Yes, sir.
you know, the permit and everything
Yes,
like
sir.
that. Did you ever register for a new business in November, or you've never registered before?
I just registered. So this is my first year.
So, well, and that's what I'm trying to get at. So usually licenses, at least currently, they expire January 1, but we give you to the 31st. So did you register in November and then all of a sudden it expired right away, or did you just never register?
I registered, but then it expired in December.
Okay, yeah. Donnie, go ahead.
And we did it. We did the inspection with the owner there in November. Myself and the fire department. His license was approved in November. That's when he got his license. With the new process of us business license coming out of inspections now, hopefully this problem will be rectified. That we'll explain to the owners that they're going to explain in June also, not in January. So I would also recommend that we waive his late fee also.
Yeah, it seems like it was one of those things
Yeah.
where it started late in the year and then it expired right away.
Correct.
And they probably didn't know that it
Right.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think waiver is appropriate. And then,
If the-
just so you know, your new license will expire in June of '22. You'll have all the way till.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that's when they'll always happen. They'll always.
Yeah, yep. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to waive the late fee for the business license.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And are we
Thank you, sir.
having folks wait, Lynn, you have a sheet on that, last week, you have a sheet, so,
Yeah, this is
Just
a
that-
hearing request form.
okay, does it have a determination on
No, not at the bottom, it does not, no.
it? Last week. Yeah, so just have a seat after the meeting, she'll give you the form, and then that we can take it down, they'll know the process. Okay, thanks.
Moving down. Item B, billing for fire station number 2 received from Axis Architecture and Interior.
Mr. President, you may recall, this is pursuant to an intergovernmental agreement. The board approves them, and then they go to court, they're forwarded to court for payment.
I will make a motion to approve the billing for fire station number 2.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item C, Franciscan Employee Assistance Program Agreement Addendum.
Mr. President, this is a request by the Port Authority to be added into the city's EAP program. It required an addendum, and that's before you for approval.
Make a motion to approve the addendum.
gun range submitted for approval. This is something from the IT department, Mr. Smith. Any questions you may have? It's from Chris Campbell.
Yeah, this was,
Service order for...
yeah, I believe it came from IT, but also it was recommended by the police department. They need it out of the gun range. I bet Chief Long probably could concur with that. Yes, we're requested to be approved.
Thank you.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the Comcast service order. You have something to say about it?
You know how to do
We'll
that.
turn it off.
Yep.
Further?
Do you have anything for the board regarding that request for the gun range, or you just wanted to approve, right? Yep.
All right, thank you. Probably me.
Yeah, good.
Motion? Oh, we're good.
Yeah, I'll make another motion if you want, just to be okay. I'll make a motion to approve the Comcast service order for the police gun range.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 9, old business. Item A, Pepe's Tire Shop, Inc. / Jimenez Auto Shop.
So, to the board, you may recall this was before you a couple weeks ago. We set it over for a status. Since that time, I can report that we've confirmed that there's only one business license, as it should be, at that location, which is the tire shop, not the Jimenez shop. So that's a problem. I also have, I believe, spoken with Councilman Torres, and I'm sure he'll come up and speak as well, that the Jimenezes have been trying to find a new location, and we believe that they have at least a lead on a new location. So I'm looking forward to hearing from that. Other than that, I think the board has to determine how it's going to deal with the parking issues on the street. The board has the ability to put out temporary no parking again if they'd like to do that. Obviously they need to determine what's best for the neighborhood and best for the commercial areas, commercial businesses there as well. So I'll turn it over to whoever wants to speak on behalf of the business, or maybe Mr. Farrell wants to also add a couple things in, and then we'll give it to the councilman.
Thank you. I had known that it was the board's request to have the property owner appear. I did have a lengthy conversation with Mr. Delgado. He is 74 years old, has owned the building for quite some time. He has had some concern about even going to public spaces. We explained, we went over the concerns that the city has regarding the operations at the property. He has owned the property since, like the late 80s, early 90s. He is understanding and is aware that only a single commercial business operation is permitted to operate at that location based on the zoning requirements and the square footage available. We say would comply with whatever the city requests, and moving forward, if there's anything that the city would need from him, he'd gladly put it in writing to show that he would cooperate fully with our request. He was unaware of the restrictions on the property. As early as 2004, when the license database goes back, there were actually 3 business licenses issued to the same business, same individual at the same location. So that's where I think a lot of this started. Now that we are coming in line with the ordinances that are being adopted and presented to ensure the safety and well-being of surrounding residents and communities, he is aware of what we will require moving forward. So, thank you.
Good morning. Well, we actually have found a property that we're already doing agreements in. The only thing is I do have a contract of the property that we're trying to buy. The only thing that the owner went on vacation and, so we're just waiting for him to come back to finish it up and, hopefully be able to get this process through. But we were, and we do have our loan and everything, paperwork for our loan and just, seeing that we've been trying to move forward with being able to get another place and in that area. The only thing that we're trying to see if we would be able to have more time, a little more time, to move forward with this opportunity and being able to get another place and getting set up and situated here, since we are still waiting.
I mean, it appears that it's a purchase agreement for 4715 Hammond, which is great. I'm happy to hear that they're potentially moving forward. It's unsigned, and I'm sure that just has to do with the owner being out of town or whatever. But I would encourage the Jimenezes to meet with the city planning department to make sure there's a parking plan in place, because what you don't want to have happen is the same, you don't want to buy a place, make sure, number one, obviously, make sure it's zoned correctly, which I think it is, but also just talk with the planner downstairs so that he understands what you need parking-wise, and that he believes that it can happen there. Because you don't want to buy a place and find out you're in the same, the same position. So I would encourage that to happen. How long do you believe it would be between today and when you want to close on the property?
By closing on the property, I want to say, I'm not sure how long the owner of this property is going to be out, since we've been dealing with just lawyer by lawyer. And sometimes we do have a conversation between us and the owner. So it's been more by owner type of thing. So I think he should be in by like the end. I'm not sure if it was the end of this March or somewhere before that. But I was thinking at least so we could close up. I believe we're probably going to close maybe by the end of March, latest April, mid-April or so.
How long will it take for you to, and it's a car wash, it's not a repair shop, so
right.
how long do you think
So
it'll take for you to,
would
get
have to
everything set up?
transition and get, everything situated for it to be auto. I want to say maybe about 4 months.
Okay, so 4 months from closing, so you're talking probably like end of summer type situation, August, September?
Most likely.
Okay, so I mean,
Maybe a little sooner.
well, sure, obviously,
But
we just want to be we just want to be realistic with what the timeline is. So I think that it's thrown back to the board kind of decide what we have to deal with between now and August or September. I mean, the good thing is it appears that we finally got a solution, right? That's great, but we also have to deal with what's happening between now and then. I don't know if there's been additional parking issues there recently or not, Chief. So that's, I guess, up to the police department to report. But
Sí, pero quiere que vayamos a
anything else you want to add?
Well, I know the board has been gracious so far, and they're asking for another 4 months, which just mental calculations has up to June. If, they'll work this out with planning and zoning and all the other boards that they have to. But if the board, or at least grant them that time period to relocate and fix up the new place, obviously it's an old car wash and not an auto shop, so renovations have to occur. So meanwhile, to be able to make the payments on this new place, you have to be able to have some work. So if you can allow them to use that parking space on the north side of 149th, between that block, for the time that they need, which they estimate 4 months. So I'm just begging the board to grant them that grace period.
Do you know, Johnny, can you guys get around there if the south side's open but not the north side? It's good enough, you think?
Yeah, it's wide enough, so it's wide enough for that.
You want to do something just on the south side then? Temporarily, or you want to do both sides?
No parking. Okay, anyone else?
I want to add is that, yeah, I just want to add that the Jimenezes should know that once they move into their new location, I mean, we're already allowing them to operate, we're not allowing them, but they are operating without a business. That is a problem that we can't allow to continue. So what I would suggest as a way to resolve